Hello everyone and welcome back to Zielonka. This is episode 3 of our premium expansion gameplay, or series rather, here on the new premium expansion map, Zielonka. There are 3 new crops. We're planting one of them, red beets right now. We've also got a field we're going to be harvesting this episode of parsnips, and then we also planted a field up there with carrots. As I said, this is episode 3. If you've missed the other 2, go ahead and check those out on my channel. There will be a link in the description to the playlist for this series, so feel free to check that out. It'll be greatly appreciated. We're going to get this done on a time-lapse, and then we will switch. Actually, before we do that, let's just drop this off here. I'm going to use the Zator to finish up this. The Fiat is the biggest of our tractors. It's got 180 horsepower, whereas the Zator Crystal has only 150. So this is going to come over and harvest the parsnips, because harvesting requires a little bit more horsepower than planting does. Yep, we are running the pallets system here, which means instead of dumping into a trailer as we go along, or the harvester filling up a hopper and then dumping into a trailer or a sell point, it fills up these little boxes, and whenever the box gets full, we just simply drop it off, come back later and pick it up, and put it on these trailers here. These trailers then go to the soup factory, which we did buy last episode, and we're producing parsnip soup right now, which is going to sell for a pretty good price. So let's go ahead and get the Zator Crystal over to our planting setup, and we'll get a time-lapse going for you guys. I hope you enjoy it. Alrighty guys, with this last little bit, we will have the last pallet of our third full load of parsnips. And I have been doing 10 pallets. I could maybe fit like 12, but I've been doing 10. Just because that's the easiest to fit on the trailers. Get that off of there. Let's buy a new one just because. Make sure that's lowered down. Yep. These tractors have been working hard. This one's got 2.6 hours, and this one over here has 2.1. So, as you can see, we've got quite a bit of parsnips up here. Not the prettiest looking texture, but it's not terrible. Probably realistic, honestly. One of the more realistic textures we've got in-game. Something not realistic, however, is the fact that I'm holding it. This is 1.4 tons. Let's get this boy fired up, and we're going to go and get that last straggler of a pallet up there. Ooh, I didn't really get that one on very well, did I? So as much trouble as the pallets were initially, as of now, I mean, they're not. It's not too much trouble. That is with using super strength, though. Which again, not very realistic at all. I don't like doing it. I do when it's the best option, which is kind of the case now. But yeah, as you can see, we're over halfway done on the field. Just got this little bit left. But that little bit could very well take an hour and a half. I'm not kidding, this stuff takes forever, so I think that's going to be enough parsnips harvesting for today. And since I don't have seasonal growth on, it's not going to wither. So I can just leave this stuff sitting on the field for next month, which means I'm leaving it for next episode. So we're going to be moving forward. Let's just get the straps on and let's take this thing over to the soup factory. Sorry, I forgot what it was for a minute. As for the production chain side of things, we've got quite a bit. If I remember correctly, it's going to do about 45,000 liters. Oh, hey, we got a pallet. It's going to do about 45,000 liters of parsnips per day. But of course, you know, we started at like, I don't know, probably 8 a.m. on the day, and we didn't start putting stuff in the actual warehouse until probably 10. So let's see how much we've got. 83,000 liters, so that could, in theory, do about 2 months, 2 full months, which again, this month is going to be like half. So we'll just have to see. But yeah, with the rest of the field coming off too, I would imagine we'd probably be over 100,000 liters of parsnips. So, and here's our first pallet of parsnip soup. It is 2,000 liters. Most pallets are 1,000, but these are 2,000 for some reason. So let's go ahead and see how much that would yield. Parsnip soup. So 3,220 per 1,000 liters, which means we're going to get 6,440. That is a $6,000 box of soup right there. Not a bad little texture for the can of soup. Right. We're going to need to spray off the weeds. Well, maybe not. Let's just go ahead and move forward. Before we figure out which tractor we're going to use, which sprayer we're going to get. Are we going to do fertilizer spreading? What are we doing here? And this is the end of the first day on the map. Let's go have a look at our red beets growing up here. Fantastic. Yeah, those fit the ridges pretty nicely there. Something about those rows, those neat rows, that just looks great. It looks like there are weeds growing, but not very much. just dotted around, and that's probably where the ridger missed. Yeah, that's where the weeds are coming from, but it does need its second layer of fertilization. And don't worry, I'm not going to forget to have a look at the carrots, because those probably look amazing as well. I do need to check and see how many pallets we got overnight, because there could be quite a fair bit of them. Ooh, and before I forget, I do need to check the used vehicle sale. It's added a planter, so I was thinking we'd get a full turnaround in there, but I guess not. Here is the red beet field. I really like those textures. Very, very good. I think I'm going to leave the weeds. I don't think it's that big of a deal. And here is the carrots. A little bit thinner. That's a weird optical illusion almost. I'm gonna guess this is not showing up on camera at all. Gonna be hard to explain too. This game doesn't have dynamic ground. It uses textures, two-dimensional textures. Some of them may appear to be 3D. Some of them are three-dimensional textures, but the way they interact with the game, with the environment, is actually still two-dimensional. The tire treads would be a great example of that. It is a three-dimensional texture. There is depth to it. You know, you can see the actual fins rising, but the way it interacts with the ground is two-dimensional. It doesn't sink into the dirt. It just kind of floats on top as if it was two-dimensional, as if it was solid and didn't have those teeth on the tires. So that carrot texture is the same way. It has these ridges, which they're three-dimensional texture. I mean, you can definitely see the depth. It's not just painted on to look like there's depth. You can actually see the depth. But then the carrot growing texture is also three-dimensional, but it's really, they interact with each other as if they're two-dimensional, which means there's a weird optical illusion where it looks like the carrots are actually inside of the ridge. Of course they're not. They're growing on top of the ridge, and you can see that looking from afar, but up close it looked really weird. So yeah, hopefully I've explained that in a way that hopefully some of you can understand. But yeah, it's a good texture, albeit a little bit weird up close. I think I like the red beets texture more as of now, though. Let's head over to the store to get a new... Well, I'm not sure. I don't think there's any new fertilizer spreaders. Not that we need to go with something new. Let's see how much these sprayers cost. So it would be 5,000. That's pricey. That's only going to be 1,200, so I hate to do the same thing every time, though, you know. That's a really good looking sprayer right there. I definitely want to use these at some point, but for the time being, you know, we don't have an abundance of money, so we're going to go with this one. And let's see, I do need... Let's just go with 2 pallets of these. Alright, let's get this thing situated. And these fields are so narrow, it's honestly probably going to be like 1 or 2 passes for the whole field, so not a big deal at all. And I'm going to see how many pallets we've got here too. May as well just leave the trailers, or at least one of them. Oh wow. Wow, that's got 2 pallets ready to spawn too. So that's done a lot more than I thought it would. Not that I'm complaining. We've got, let's see what the time-saving stock check mod will say I've got. Yeah, it says $76,000 worth. And we can sell it all for $73,000 right now. That is insane. If we let that just keep cooking throughout the day, the price is rising. So by the end of the day, you know, we could have $80,000, $85,000 worth of parsnips ready to sell. Of parsnip soup, rather. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, though. We need to fertilize next year's crops before we worry about selling this year's crops. And I am interested to see if we can get this all in one pass. Yep, not quite. So it'll be 2 passes. But the good news is on the second pass we can narrow the working width so it doesn't spread them out quite as far. I don't think I can split the rows very well. I'm kind of hitting both of them. No big deal. I've got they're young enough that it doesn't matter. They'll just spring right back up. And those weeds, I mean, there's few enough of those that won't matter at all. It'll be negligible, the yield lost. Something I do want to do, though, is all of these fields around here, kind of within the main path and the stream over there, I kind of want to plow them all up at some point. Obviously, this will not be in the near future. Plow all these fields up into one big field. Do like a mega carrot harvest or something. That'd be fun. Okay, so it looks like this field is a bit wider. It's harder to see, of course, because the beets are a bit thicker. The actual like plant growing is a bit thicker, so it's harder to see the ground, so I can't see what I've fertilized quite as well. No big deal. Yeah, I really like the textures. The road ridged texture looks fantastic. Need to do me some root crops more often. I would if they didn't take so gosh darn long. It's terrible. The money's good though. We've got $76,000 and, you know, we still got well over half of the parsnips that we harvested. That's just what's been produced into parsnip soup so far. That's the fields done. I may just keep this fertilizer spreader for the time being. It is leased, but I do have lease to own, I believe, a mod that allows you to purchase. Yep, you can purchase leased items. The longer you lease them for, the cheaper they become. Obviously, you're paying the lease payment every month, so the mod essentially takes your lease payment and subtracts a portion of it, not the whole thing. Subtracts a portion of it from the price of the item. So if you want to lease it for the time being because you can't afford to buy it, then you are more than welcome to. If you do end up getting enough money to buy it later on, you don't have to just return it and then buy a brand new one. You can buy it for a little bit cheaper, so that's pretty nice. Totally realistic as well. I'm surprised the game doesn't have that feature. Not surprised. It would be cool and not out of place at all for the game to have that kind of feature. We ought to have a look at some contracts. Fair bit of harvesting contracts. I don't see any vegetable ones though. Oh, there we go, parsnips. Look at that. Now, I need to be on the lookout because any contracts that have vegetables and the place it tells you to take is the soup factory, I'll get paid for the contract and I'll get the vegetables in my production chain. So I basically get free money and I get the money from the contract. So like if it was carrots and it said to bring them to the soup factory, all the carrots I harvest for the contract would go right in here and I can turn them into carrot soup and make bank off of them. So definitely going to have to keep a keen eye out for contracts like that. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to take any of those. Whoops-a-daisy. That's the problem with super strength. All my hard work down the drain. I do have that forklift. Maybe I should bring that down here. This thing right here. Well, yeah, let's do that. That way I can be a little bit more realistic instead of using super strength. I'll just save super strength for the parsnip pallets out in the field, and that'll be good enough. No need to do anything more than that. Spent 10 grand on this pallet forklift. I might as well use it. Right, so I'll go and get those loaded up. There, we've got the pallets that have spawned on there at least. I will watch the price of the parsnip soup, and whenever it's at its best, I bet that more pallets will have spawned by then, so we can get them loaded up and then take these over to the train or wherever they'll be selling. Just tidy these up a little bit though. That's good enough. 24,000 liters of it so far. Yep. I'll watch the prices and we'll sell it when it's at its highest. Right, we've got 36,000 liters now, so I think six new pallets spawned. And the price is way up. It was, I think it's gone up like $400 per 1,000 liters, so that's not the right thing to be at. Yeah, 3,700 per pallet, so, or sorry, no, it'll be 2 times that per pallet. You need to hit the brakes sooner, sir. Got me fearing for my life. These people just go whenever they feel like it, don't they? Didn't even see those pedestrians, my bad. I'll also have to keep my eyes out for any golden apples. That's the collectible for this map. They're worth, I think, $5,000 a piece, and there's 50 of them, so you can get $250,000, which would help a ton. So if you guys see any or know where any are, feel free to let me know. I can go and pick those up if we're needing them, which, yeah, right now we could use them. We don't have an awful lot of money in the bank, and in fact, we've got a loan for $25,000, so we're negative money right now. Not for long. I guess that is true. I'm actively on my way to make $100 and some thousand. Mod says it'll be $134,000, so that will do quite nicely. First thing I'm going to do is pay off that loan. Absolutely. No need to have that hanging over our heads any longer than necessary. And secondly, I think I'm going to invest in more land. Grab a couple of fields, maybe with crops that'll be ready to harvest next year or next month. Who knows? Who knows? It's going to be faster for me to take these dirt routes, so I'm going to do that. As long as I don't flip my tractor. This is an interesting part of the map though, these little trails that kind of snake their way around. And there's even more of it beyond this highway and beyond the train tracks, as you can see. There's the train. Oh, matter of fact, I'm just going to rent that right now. So that way he hits the brakes and gets himself stopped pretty close to where I'll need him. Otherwise, you know, he'd be steaming on by and it'd take me, you know, another minute to get there, and then by that time he'd be 3 kilometers away, so. Do have to pay a bit of an hourly fee though for him. I don't think it's going to be all that much. The convenience of having him stopped early rather than having to wait for him to stop later on, the convenience is well worth however much I've got to pay for it. But yeah, these are pallets obviously, and they're going to go on that back trailer right there, the back part. So I don't know how to get them on. If there's a little platform or something around here, it doesn't look like it. There might be a platform there. Or up here, I imagine, would have one. Let's just have a look. Yep, there is a platform, so for future reference, I can just take my trailer and pull it right on up here and then just unload stuff right on the train. But of course, hindsight is 20/20. I'll just use super strength to pop them on there because there's no good way of me doing it otherwise. And then I'll bring you guys along for the train ride and we'll see how much we make. Hello there, little guy. You don't look like you're supposed to be there. I've just found a golden apple. 49 left to go. It's kind of got me wanting to look for another one. I shouldn't. Just wait until I find him. Okay. How am I supposed to know? Oh, I guess that's a good way of telling. It tells you what you've got loaded in the bottom right. So, 32,000, we've got them. Ooh. We're supposed to have 36. Are we not? 36,000? Did I miss 2 pallets? So that one's not on. So it's just the 2 at the front, huh? That should be all of them. I don't know why it doesn't let you strap those on at the very front. Bit of an oversight, I think. There's no way it should let me put them on the trailer. You know, they're within the walls of the trailer, but they're not able to be strapped down. There we go, 36,000, that's right. That is a interesting place beyond this hill there. There is, you know, there's more of the map, and there's logging trails and whatnot in there. And the sawmill's right here too. We might have to look into that at some point. Here's where we should be loading next time. Put the trailer right on there and get a forklift or skid steer or something. Right, we're about to sell them. Let's see what we make. Are you serious? Oh, I can just take them right here and sell them? Is that right? Alright, I think that's all of them. I was not expecting that though. They flew off the trailer and almost smacked me in the head. This thing's weigh a quarter ton each. I suppose that's all of it though, isn't it? Yep, that should be everything, so. Wow. Let's pay off that loan real quick. And let's look at some farmland to buy. That'll be a good end. Good end to the episode. Now, I mean, we could probably buy all 3 of these, honestly. They're so cheap. They're dirt cheap. What do we got here? Potatoes. Is that right? Yes, please. Give me that sorghum. Then what do we have here? Cotton? I don't want to do cotton. So, well, we could get another field of parsnips. How much is this one? 47? I've only got 75 grand. I think I'm going to save it. So, let's have a look at our new land we've got. It's already 6 p.m. In game, so not going to harvest any of this tonight. We'll do that tomorrow, as well as finish up that parsnip field. But yeah, got us some sorghum. I didn't even check the fertilizer state. We'll finish up the parsnips next month. We've also got to work on the potatoes and this sorghum right here. The moment of truth. Wow, the potatoes are doubly fertilized, and the sorghum is fertilized once, so that is very good. The fields aren't huge, but again, as I spoke to earlier, I've got dreams to plow them all together. All of these fields here. See, you know, we've got the main trails here kind of outlining this group. So put all these together into one big field. All of these could go together into one big field. All of these, you know. I don't want to do it to every little pod of fields. You know, that's kind of a big part of this map is these little vertical fields here. I guess those are horizontal. The strip fields. That's a big part of the agriculture in this area. So, you know, those are the ideal ones for vegetables. The really long, narrow fields, because the harvesting stuff is only like 1 row wide. Is this a basketball court? I don't think they've had one of those since Farming Simulator 17. Goldcrest Valley had a basketball, or is this soccer? Or football for the non-Americans. Okay, it looks like football. Can you actually play a game here? Reset football field. I haven't heard anyone talking about this. This is awesome. So if I turn off super strength. Oh, you can't pick it up, but you can kick it. That's really cool. I wonder if you could play this with your friends. That is awesome. I've seen a few first look videos and I haven't seen anyone talking about this. Okay, so you reset it, does reset the score, which is a bit annoying because it's hard to get the ball out of the goal. Pass. Okay. And then shoot. Wow. So there's even a couple of controls you can do. There we go. And you can pass it to your teammate. Oh, it reset itself, it looks like. Let's check these bleachers. Pretty cool. This is awesome. And another golden apple. I thought there'd be one of those around here somewhere. Well, come on now, let me get you. Let's see if there's any more. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, that's super cool. Super cool. Oh, there's one. That's a good spot in that trash can there. Wow. I'm loving this map more and more. Little job posting board. This is awesome. Not sure how realistic it is to the area, but yeah, really glad my curiosity piqued and I checked that out because that's super cool. Right. I'm gonna go ahead and get my tractors back home. And we're gonna pack things up and call it a day. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. As I said, next one's going to be busy. We've got to finish the harvesting of the parsnips. Probably do a lot of that off camera. I know you guys have seen a lot of vegetables, especially if you've been watching other people's playthroughs instead of just mine. There's a lot of vegetables going on right now, so yeah. I'll do some of that on camera, and then obviously we did get the sorghum field and potatoes, so that's all what we're going to be doing next episode. I'm not promising I'll get it all done, but I'll give it a shot. Then of course, you know, the soup factory is going to keep on putting stuff out, so I got to keep selling it. That'll be not a full-time job, but that's going to be taking up quite a bit of time. Keeping these trailers over there and yeah, filling up the pallets, taking them wherever they got to be sold and selling them. I don't necessarily want to use the train every time, even if it is the best sell price. So, you know, if worst comes to worst, I can just stockpile a bunch of pallets over there, just take them out of the trigger so new ones can spawn, if that makes sense. But yeah, that'll be definitely going on for a while, especially since we still haven't finished harvesting the parsnips, so the problem's only going to get worse. We're going to keep growing parsnips at the factory. It's going to keep making soup. So that'll be great. Really good money maker. Definitely making all that time I've put into it worth it. And now we've got $87,000. A couple of fields of vegetables ready to go. I want to save up a good amount of money because we got to lease a harvester for the sorghum, a potato harvester for the potatoes, And I want to have enough so that we can lease the big self-propelled harvester to help with these carrots and red beets here, but it's not necessary. It would just be really nice. So let's park those things there. Grab this guy here, and I'll see you next time. Peace.